Hi, welcome to my channel and my first-ish video. I'm gonna fuck around with some makeup today because I got all the time in the world because coronavirus. I'm gonna do a whole drag face in just e.l.f. makeup, so let's get started. And there goes the brows. I forgot to mention that this is not a full-on tutorial. This is more of a demonstration of how I'm using e.l.f. makeup, and a lot of it I'm just using for the first time. And also, forgive my horrid eye bags. I look crazy, but it's just what it is, okay? Also, everything I'm using will be e.l.f. products except my tools, the setting spray, and lashes. So I'm starting off by setting my moisturizer with the e.l.f. Sheer HD powder, and then I'm going to spray it with some setting spray. I picked this up from the makeup artist Jordan Liberty. So next I'm going with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I've actually been using this since last summer, and for $8 it's very decent. I used the Flawless Finish foundation, but I found that the coverage was not drag friendly, so I actually had to go in with the new Hydrating Camo Concealers. I had a feeling that the foundation would not come through, so that's why I got these concealers in my base shade. I got medium sand and medium beige because I wasn't sure what the tones were going to be like. Medium beige was just a little too dark, and tan orange for me. Medium sand worked out pretty well. For my highlight shade, I picked up Fair Warm and Fair Beige, but I actually liked Fair Warm on the first try, so that was the only thing that I ended up using. Let me just say, she's no Kevin Aquan, and I had to go in a second time, and I think maybe a third time, because the coverage was not what I'm used to. So when you have textured skin like I do, you've got to cream contour. I'm using the same concealer in the shade Rich Cocoa, and she's quite alright. And here's the third time going in. I somehow accidentally deleted the footage where I set my makeup with the HD powder, but that's what I did. I didn't buy any contour powders, but I got this bronzer to help transition my contour into my base shade. She's the next Karate Kid. No, I just use this ribbon to help me draw my eyebrows at the same height and angle. And it also helps prevent forehead creasing when I raise my eyebrows to do my eye makeup. This is just a brow pencil in deep brown. Here I'm drawing my crease first. And based on my crease, I draw my brows because I like my brows to be close to my crease so I don't look surprised all the time. I'm using the Mad for Matte Jewel Pop palette to fill in my eyebrows using the darker brown and then the lighter brown. Okay, so do the other brow. Here I'm just trying to match the crest of my eyebrow arch in comparison to the outer corner of my eye, and I'm using something with a straight edge like this pencil. And just marking it, and hopefully it matches. I find having the ribbon on especially helpful when I'm drawing the outer tail of my eyebrow because you can compare the angle to the flat horizon of the ribbon. Here's their eyeliner pen and the color Coffee, and I like to use it to draw little hair strokes on my eyebrows. I'm going to use tape for my eye makeup, and I lined them with permanent marker so that I can match the angles more easily. Now I'm just going with the Fair concealer to prime my eyes for eyeshadow and just blending that out. I'm setting the brow area with some HD powder so I can blend eyeshadows easier there. I'm going to use a liquid matte lipstick in Red Vixen as a base because I'm actually doing a sunset eye and there's no red in any of the palettes that I have, so I was hoping that this would work. This is the 18 Hit Wonders palette, and I'm going to use the orange in it. It's got a little bit of a shimmer, but I'm just going to blend that red out with the orange. I decided to go in with the orange from the Jewel Pop palette because I think it's a little bit darker. And then taking the yellow from the 18 Hit Wonders palette and blending out that orange, and I'm just going back and forth blending all the colors. Now I'm going to use the burgundy from the Jewel Pop palette to deepen up my crease. I'm cleaning up my crease before I cut it so it doesn't contaminate the white base I'm going to put on top, which is this putty eye primer. I'll be honest, this putty eye primer is not the tea. It's just so dry, it doesn't blend very well. You can see I'm tapping it over to try to smooth it out, but it still doesn't go. I'm going with the burgundy in my outer corner. I'm blending that out and inwards, and then this mauve going inwards. And then I got this liquid glitter in Disco Ball, and it's sort of like that Stila one, but it's not that good. It doesn't blend very easily. Here's the black liquid eyeliner. It's not waterproof. It's alright, but it doesn't stay put, but I also didn't set it with black eyeshadow. Now to do the rest of my face, I'm going in with that powder again, the HD powder. I got this orange color corrector because I wasn't sure that the concealer was going to hide my horrible eye bags. And it was at this moment that I realized I forgot to go in with setting spray and primer. Here's a luminous putty primer that I use on the top of my cheekbones. Don't ask me why I went in with the foundation again, because it literally does not do much for me. So I just ended up going in with the Warm Sand concealer again, and it's a pretty decent match. I want a little more coverage and lightness under my eyes because they're awful. So I'm just going to let it sit while I do my contour. I do have to say, this hydrating concealer blends out pretty well. So whenever I highlight my nose, I always bring it up into my forehead highlight that's already set, and it let me do it without a problem. And now I'm setting my entire face with that sheer HD powder. And I don't show it here, but after I dust it off, I always spray my face with setting spray. And this is the Deep Blush Palette. Now I'm doing my under eyes. I'm just using the same colors as my top lid. I go from lightest to darkest, minus the red. I'm just cleaning up my under eye area because I'm going to lay down that white putty primer and I don't want it to be contaminated by the other eyeshadows. And it's her again. I'm using that white putty primer again on the outer part of my eyeliner just to make it pop a little bit. For my lips, I want to go for a more muted look, so I'm using this liquid matte lipstick in the color Coffee. I always like to lighten my lips with a satin lipstick. This one's in the shade Creme. It wasn't light enough for me, so I actually went in with a little bit of concealer. Just touching up my brows. So this is their highlighter in rose gold, and to be quite honest, she was disappointing. I tried applying it over and over with setting spray after setting spray. This is Moonlight Pearl because I was hoping it would do something, but nope. So e.l.f. doesn't make lip liners, that's why I used the matte liquid lipstick as a liner. And I don't know if you could tell, but it was a little patchy on the edges. I really wanted that glitter to come through, that's why I'm reapplying it again here. But I think I actually ended up taking some off because it's pretty liquidy. Here's their clear gloss. We all know that it's not a drag queen's best friend, but for looks and photo shoots, it's alright. This Halo Glow setting powder is one of their newer products, and from what I've heard, it's more of like a topper. It gives you a subtle glow, and so I'm just putting it in my highlight areas. I really wanted that highlight to come through, but she didn't, girl. And this is the final look. So my conclusion is that the hydrating concealer was probably the best product here that I used. It's no Kevin Aquan, like I said. Personally, I need something that's thicker and more smoothing, and this concealer is more thin, but if I were in a pinch, I would definitely use this. Everything else was so-so. The eyeshadows were alright. I think with a better primer, they probably would perform better. But yeah, everything else I could let go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think my next video will be a real tutorial with all my Holy Grail products, so please like and subscribe, and if you want to leave any hate comments, don't. Bye!